What's up, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. It is your girl T, aka Behind the Scenes with T. I think that's gonna start being catchy. Welcome back to Behind the Scenes with T. Yeah, welcome back. It's Tanaya Janae. Welcome back to Behind the Scenes with T. Boom. Just like that. Just like that. Just like that. New intro, new channel name. Boom. Thank y'all for tuning in to this video. Make sure y'all stay all the way into the end. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so we're gonna start that again. What's up, y'all, and welcome to Behind the Scenes with T. It's your girl T herself. You know what I'm saying? I go by Tanaya, I go by T, I go by Lay, I go by Nye, I go by a whole bunch of shit. So you know what I'm saying? Like, we versatile over here. But anyways, y'all, welcome to my channel. Today, as y'all seen by the title, I'm going to be telling y'all about a little story time about how my apartment flooded again for the second time. And how I was, my living situation after that. Okay, I'm gonna get a little juicy. I'm gonna tell my business a little bit. I'm gonna let y'all in a little bit on my life. Just a little teeny bit. So if you wanna be nosy, cause y'all nosy, obviously that's why y'all are here. No, if y'all want to be nosy, if y'all want to get the tea, make sure y'all watch all the way to the end. Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram. Make sure y'all follow me on TikTok. That's Laid with 4 A's. And I got another Instagram page. That's Nice Collection. I'm going to put everything in the description box below. But just watch all the way into the end to get the full tea and the full scoop about everything I'm about to tell y'all. So without further ado, let's get into this story time. Okay, y'all, so on December 25th, we're now in June, so I'm past it. I could talk about it now, okay? But on Christmas Day, okay? Christmas Day, while everybody is minding their business, opening presents, eating some gumbo, eating some good ass food, you feel me, chilling with their family, I'm over here fighting for my life.
This is not me, y'all. I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this.
So December 25th, y'all, I was at home chilling, minding my business, opening my presents, on the phone with my sister, just, you know, minding my business. And I'm sitting there, and out of nowhere, the fire alarm in my apartment building just started going off. So I'm like, that's weird. Like, what's really going on? Mind you, hold on, let me rewind real quick. Literally the night before, this was like around the time when they had the Arctic blast. I believe that's what it was called, the Arctic blast. And it was just cold as hell for no reason, right? So I guess the pipes in Atlanta was freezing. Okay, whoa. I guess the pipes in Atlanta was freezing. Okay, whoa. I guess the pipes in Atlanta was freezing, right? And people's goddamn pipes was busting left and right. Like, everywhere you looked, people's pipes was busting. It was busting in these luxury apartments. It was busting in the mall. It was busting everywhere. I'm being very animated right now, but literally, y'all, I'll insert some videos so y'all can see too. But yeah, so everybody pipes and stuff was busting, but it was all like exploding. Let's use the word exploding, because busting is a little too much, you know what I'm saying? So everybody's pipes was exploding, and most of the pipes that exploded, I seen it happening like on Christmas Eve and like Christmas Eve, right? So I'm thinking, okay, the Arctic blast is over with. It's hella sunny the next day. we cool, we in the clear. I'm literally laying down in my bed looking at people's pipe busting. I'm just like, pipes exploding. Literally laying down in the bed looking at people's pipes exploding, and I'm just like, damn, like, that's so crazy. That's so sad. I feel so bad. But then, you know, it's also this little other side of you that's like, I feel so bad. I'm gonna pray for y'all, but I'm glad it ain't me. Right? You gonna always have that thought, like, I'm just glad it ain't me. Shit. That following afternoon, the next day, it was definitely me. So, boom. I had to just tell y'all that. So I'm sitting on the couch watching TV. Life is passing me by. Keep it
procrastinating over and over. Well, maybe I'll go to school next year, maybe next semester. No, do it right now.
Okay, for real, y'all. I'm sitting on the couch, or I'm sitting wherever on the phone talking to my sister. The fire alarm started going off. So I get up and I open my door, look through the hallway, look left, look right before crossing the street, and I don't see nothing. So I'm like, okay, maybe somebody just pulled the fire alarm, you know, like, I don't know. Nothing was going on. So I sit back down, continue my conversation. And the next thing you know, I started hearing water. Like running water. Like a faucet was on. So I'm like, hold the hell on. Hold up. So I get up again and I look outside. Y'all, why was water coming from the ceiling? Hard and fast. I'm like, say it ain't so. Say it the fuck ain't so. Say it ain't so. Again, more water. So, you know, I hurry up because I'm like, it was coming down very, 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 very fast. And I'm like, this is a little bit too much for my liking. So, like, shortly after the water that I seen coming down the hallway was coming down, water started coming down in my actual apartment. So I'm like, hold on. So it's like, I'm trying to get the water. I'm trying to like find little bowls and buckets and stuff throughout my apartment and just like make sure that I'm putting the buckets on each spot where the water was coming down. Because it wasn't just coming down from like one little area. It was like one right here, one right here, one right there, one right there. So in the middle of me trying to put buckets and stuff down, I'm also trying to hurry up and like pack a bag because the water just started coming down like a little bit too fast and it was just too much. Like it was coming down in so many different places. I ain't got enough buckets and bowls for that shit, okay? So while I'm trying to do that, I'm also in my room scrambling because it was so much water coming down at one time, y'all. Like, I'm gonna show y'all another clip so y'all can see.
I take cash out, Venmo, Zelle, EBT, ooh, EBT. I take cash out, Venmo, Zelle, EBT, ooh, EBT. I take cash out.
Yeah, so that's what was going on. It was just water everywhere. So while that was happening, I'm scrambling in my room and I'm trying to like now looking back it seems so dramatic, but like it made sense in the moment, okay? So don't be talking shit. So I'm in my room and I'm like getting my birth certificate, I'm getting my diploma, I'm getting this, I'm getting that, my social security. Like I'm gathering all of my important documents while at the same time just putting hella random clothes in a suitcase and just like really trying to take all my essentials with me. Because when I tell y'all, it looked like the roof was about to cave in. It was so much water coming down. This is the old building that I stay in, y'all. So ain't no telling like how, just ain't no telling how the building was built. Ain't no telling if they knew what they was doing when they was doing it. So I'm like, just really trying to get everything that was important that I needed to get. And then of course getting all my electronics and everything and just packing everything and just going. So packed up everything and just walked out. And it was so weird because it was like, it was such a normal day. It's Christmas. It's literally Christmas. The city is closed. The grocery stores ain't open. Ain't nothing open. Leasing office ain't open. Ain't nothing open. Can't nobody help you. baby, you just gotta thug it out, okay? And then even the day after Christmas, shit was still, you know, closed a little bit. So it was weird because walking down the hallway, it was like hella water in front of my door and hella water like in front of the neighbor's door. But then when you keep walking down, these people don't even look like they affected by it. So I'm like, well, damn, why me? You know, like, what would I do? Like, what's tea?
So
Now why am I in
it?
it?
And you could have did
Now
it.
see how I get it wrong and
because you
stuff?
never
I ain't even did
apologized.
nothing.
Because it happened once already. I don't think it should have happened again. Right? So, got on the hallway, boo. Got the suitcases, got some blankets, got a whole bunch of shit. Had to keep coming back and forth and just getting a few more things. And then put everything up in the car. But it was weird because it's like the outside was cool. Like when you actually went out the hallway, it was cool. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it was just weird. It wasn't like the whole building was just like flooding and water was coming from everywhere. It was like water was coming from this apartment. It wasn't coming from that apartment. It was coming from this apartment. And then people also wasn't home at the time. So I could just imagine how messed up they stuff got when they ended up like coming back in town. I'm just glad that I decided to stay out here this year for Christmas and I didn't go back home, because then it would have looked completely different if I would have did that. But shortly after everything got put in the car, I'm like walking around the apartment building because I'm just trying to see what else is going on. Like, where's the water coming from? What other people got going on? So I drove down to the leasing office in front, and wasn't no water going on over there. No pipes was busted over there. So I'm like, bro, what is going on? Like, I'm a little bit confused. So when I go inside the leasing office, it's these two dudes in there, and they was pretty much saying like that they stay on the 4th floor and they shit was fucked up. They was like water was coming everywhere. It was this, it was that, yada yada yada. So they ended up showing me the video. This is the video right here.
The apartment is flooded. We can't even get home. The water is deep.
Yeah, so that's what they saw. I seen something different. It wasn't that much water coming down in my apartment, but it was still enough to really do some damage. So I was like, bruh, this is going to be crazy. Like, this is going to be not again, you know? So shortly after the fire department came, they ended up turning the water off and everything was decent at that point. But water was still, you can't stop the flow of water. Like, yeah, you can stop the flow of water from a faucet, but once the water is already, you know, surface level and going through, just because they turned the pipes off don't mean the water was just finna stop coming through my apartment. So water was still coming through. Water was coming through the outlets. Water was coming through the walls. Water was coming through the light fixtures. Water was literally coming through shit that you would never even expect water to come through. So, pretty much we was just doing the best that we could with what we had to secure all of the water and keep it in the bowls. We used damn near every single towel that we had to like clean up the floor and all of this extra stuff. And then, yeah, like that was pretty much that. So maybe 2-3 days go by. This is when the leasing office is starting to open back up and stuff like that. And they were sending out emails to everybody and like people. One thing I can say is my apartment was on it pretty quickly when it came to reconstructing everything and getting people, you know, in here in the apartment to start working on everything. They was pretty quick about it. I would say shortly after, like they had workers in there tearing down the walls. When I say tearing stuff down, I'm gonna insert another video.
Oh my gosh.
So they started like breaking stuff down and tearing the hallway walls down December 29th. So they was working fairly quick. And they was doing what they had to do. I'm talking about down to the bone It was tearing the walls down to the bone, okay? So I was still living in that. Like, I still was having to walk through the hallway with no actual walls, no floors. It was just like a mess. Then it got to the point where it was just like not really a safe environment. It was, you can tell it was starting to become like mold and stuff in there. Like you was starting to smell it, and you know, that's just not healthy to be in. Allergies and asthmas was messing up. So we had to pretty much leave and stay in a hotel. Now the messed up part about now is it's finna start getting a little bit fucked up, because we can no longer stay here. It's not safe, so we just need to go away and come back when they're done doing whatever the hell they need to do, right? So we had to get in contact with our renter's insurance, and we had to put in a claim and do the whole little process that everybody do when they stuff get messed up. So when we're in contact with them, we in contact with the leasing office. Like, we just pretty much going back and forth, being basically the third party person for whatever. We just going back and forth with the leasing office and the renter's insurance. So they ended up telling us that we can stay in a hotel. It was just like a whole freaking process. If you've been through this process before, then you know. But they were telling us that we still had to pay rent where we were living at in order to get a hotel through our renter's insurance. They pretty much picked the hotel out for us. Like, we really didn't get it was like 3 different options, and all 3 of them was like, I don't want to stay here. But I guess, where the hell else, if you can't go to Bella Noche, where the hell can you go? So we ended up staying at this hotel, and when the apartments, mind y'all, my apartments was so weird. In the beginning, they were cool, but towards the end, they started to get a little bit weird and a little bit like manipulative, because, and also they just didn't know what the hell they was talking about. Like, granted, they ain't never dealt with nothing like this before, but it was still just like, they were just leading us on and just having us like expecting things that weren't happening. They just kept saying, oh, well, you know, y'all have to leave the apartment, and it's just going to be a 7-day process of when they're going to fix everything and get everything together. I think they had a little bit too much dip on their chip, because 7 days was not nearly enough time for them to do what they had to do, in my personal opinion, because they was there for hella long. So as I'm like packing up and trying to get all of my stuff to stay in a hotel, it's just hella workers all throughout the hallway. Then like the workers had to come inside of my unit and like put the humidifier and purifier and all of that stuff in there. And it's just like, it was a lot of ins and outs with like random ass people in my apartment. And I did not like that. I don't like people in my space, especially if I don't know you. And I was just feeling hella uncomfortable, but it was like really not much I can do in the moment. So went to the hotel, stayed there. We were under the impression at first that it was going to be a 7-day stay. Mind you, we had to relay this information to the renter's insurance. So we had to show proof, one, that we paid rent. We had to show proof that like there was actual damage, and everything was just like showing proof of A, B, C, and D. So it was kind of a process before we was even able to go to the hotel. So I know I'm kind of like bouncing around, but I'm just trying to like vividly remember in detail what all happened. So once everything was finalized, we really didn't even know how long we was going to be in the hotel for, because we were told it was going to take 7 days. Then 7 days turned into like 7 to 10 days. Then it turned into like 21 days. Then it turned into like 30 days. So the apartments didn't know what the hell they was talking about, and they just kept throwing random days and random numbers. Then when we would call and check up, then the story would change. Then it's like, oh, well, I don't have that information. I'm waiting on, you know, corporate to call us and give us that information. And once they do that, we'll be glad to tell you all what's going on and blah, 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 blah. So it's like calling them, they didn't know what the hell they was talking about. I felt like I was talking to a wall, because it's like, y'all just here to take up space. Y'all not telling me anything that I need to know. This is my livelihood, and I know it's not y'all fault. So I didn't want to come off as if like I'm blaming y'all for everything and taking out everything on y'all. But it's like, this is the leadership role that y'all are in. Y'all are dealing with people's livelihood. Y'all gotta know something. Somebody gotta know something. If y'all don't know what the hell y'all talking about, give me the number to corporate. I would be glad to talk to them. Period. So they ended up giving me the number and the email to the property manager. So she was above like multiple properties in that area. I kid y'all not. She was so fucking rude to me when I first talked to her through email. So yeah, she came at me like, hello sir, and da-da-da. First of all, in today's age, you don't know what people like to be called. You don't know what people go by. And I never stated whether I was a male or a female. So for you to respond with hello sir, you got too much dip on your chip too, babe. I see why they got too much dip on their chip, because you is the dipper and they the chipper. I'm sorry, that was corny. But I see why. It's a domino effect. None of y'all know what the hell y'all doing or what y'all talking about. So now I need to talk to your boss's bosses, because you're just as ignorant as these motherfuckers. At least the people in the leasing office were nice about everything. She was just like blatantly just rude. Once I got on the phone with her, her tone changed. She was a little bit nicer, and I came to find out that she lived in the building herself, allegedly. But her energy, she didn't act like she lived there. Like she just, anyways, enough on her. Pretty much everybody was just giving me the runaround, and I was just getting hella irritated. But I'm in a hotel at this point. I'm going to work from the hotel, going back home to the hotel, like literally just living out of the hotel until Lord knows when, because it wasn't a date, a feasible date of when I was going back home. So it was just a lot pretty much going on. Then the messed up part was I had a camera and I can see like when my door and stuff was opening, and they weren't going inside of my apartment. So they wasn't working on anything. Like the time that I was in the hotel, they were more so just working on the hallway, but not really the unit inside. So I was starting to get a little worried because they wasn't working on anything. So we had to leave and go to the hotel, but it's like, when are y'all gonna start working on the unit? Because y'all gave us these dates and I'm checking back in with y'all not following up. So it's like, is the dates being pushed back? Is it gonna prolong me staying in the hotel? Like what is really going on? But it's like I couldn't worry too much about my home and personal life because I'm at work for hella hours a day trying to deal with this stuff at work, to where it's like I can't take, it was just hard to kind of juggle both. And if you know the field of work that I'm in, then you know like it was just a lot for me at the time. So long story short, y'all, just to fast forward, they ended up emailing me saying my apartment was inhabitable. I had to force break my lease, and I pretty much had like 2 weeks to get out and do what I need to do. And I'm like, whoa, how the hell did it go from we finna be working on your place to now y'all have to move out, force break y'all lease, and that's it, bye, toodles, you gotta go. I'm like, force break my lease? And y'all gave me this short of a notice to have to get all of my stuff out of here? And not only that, I guess when you have renter's insurance, you got a certain amount of days to stay away until it runs out. So the renter's insurance, the amount of days was running out. After that, folks was gonna have to start paying out of pocket. And then my apartment is telling me I have to force break my lease. What are y'all really saying to me right now? Are y'all telling me I'm about to be homeless? Oh my gosh. So I have to not only pack out of the hotel, pack out of my apartment, but also find somewhere else to stay within a 2-week time frame? Oh no, that was not gonna work for me. That was not gonna work for me. That was a lot. On top of working 12 plus hours at work, Monday through Friday. So when do I actually have time to look for another place to stay? Are y'all dead ass? Are y'all really being serious right now? I'm at work for 12 hours plus Monday through Friday. most apartment complexes and stuff is closed on Sundays. So really, I only have Saturdays to look for something. I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. Like, what the hell am I supposed to do? So literally, any little second that I had of free time, I'm looking, I'm doing research, I'm calling, I'm setting up days when I can go and look for apartments, and I'm building a whole list of places that I can go and see and blah, 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 blah. Technically, it was like I had 2 weeks, but in real life, I had like 2 to 3 days because I work all this time. So literally, I would get home 9 o'clock, 9, 10 o'clock, going back to the apartment, packing up what I could for like an hour or two, then going back to the hotel, washing my ass, and then going to sleep, and then doing it all over again. So I'm like, bro, this is a lot, like, but I always know that God comes through for me every single time. Okay, he gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. So I'm like, I'm not gonna trip too hard. Like, I was being fairly calm throughout the situation, even though I really didn't have no game plan. I really didn't know where the hell I was gonna be living in a few days. But I'm like, God got me. He always got me, so I ain't gonna trip. But once it started to get a little bit closer to like, okay, it's time to like pack up and leave because we cannot stay in this hotel no more, that's when I started to get a little bit worried, because the apartment hunting was basura. Trash. Everything was just hella high. Stuff was just like not in the area I wanted to stay in. And it was just not really looking like the best. Then I was going to apartments that I wanted to tour, and like nobody was there. And I'm like, Brody, like what the heck is going on? Everything just seemed to just not be working in my favor. So I'm like tripping out a little bit, but not like how I should have been, knowing that all of this is going on. So I even had to take off work to like pack and to move and do all of that stuff. So it was really just a lot. And the one apartment, I had went to one apartment and I was calling and calling. Well, first I showed up because I had a tour. I made the tour online and I showed up to tour, obviously. And when I got to the apartment, nobody was there. Nobody was in the office to tour me. So I'm like, bro, what the heck is going on? Like, let me backtrack. So some of the tours that I was going on, like the places was cool, but like the closets was hella small, or they didn't have this, or they didn't have that. And like the prices they was asking for was just way too high. Like, just way too high, just way out of my budget. So anywho, my apartment hunt was not really going the best. Like, the apartments looked hella dirty. The leasing agents wasn't friendly. It was hella small. It wasn't buy nothing. Like, I got standards, okay? I'm moving into certain type of living spaces, and it has to be by certain stuff. And it was just, they just was not giving for the prices. So no, not moving there. So the one apartment that I was like had the most potential, I called them. I scheduled the appointment first. I showed up, nobody was in the leasing office. The leasing office was closed. Closed. I'm calling, and I'm calling the other people, and just nobody was answering. Nobody was getting back to me. I'm getting so like, I'm just getting so confused, because like, why do y'all have y'all hours online and I show up to do the tour and nobody's here? Then what also had me mad was I went to an apartment tour earlier in the day and I wasn't able to tour the apartment because that apartment I didn't have an appointment, and somebody was there with an appointment, so they told me to come back. So I'm like, bruh. So I was very overwhelmed with them telling me that this apartment doing this, and I think it was one other apartment that I went to go and see, and I didn't really like it for real. I was so overwhelmed. I just went back to the hotel and just chilled at the hotel, because I'm like, yeah, y'all doing too much. Like, this not going the way I wanted to go, and if all fails, hell, I'm gonna go back home with my mama, because y'all ain't about to stress me the hell out, okay? So went back to the hotel. Then I'm constantly calling the other apartment because I still want to do the tour. Constantly calling them, they still not answering. So I waited a little bit more and I called them again, and they answered. And I'm like, oh, someone's in the office? She was like, yeah. I'm like, well, I've been calling all morning. Like, what's the tea? What's going on? And I guess it was some emergency, whatever. So I ended up going back to that apartment, and I looked, I went back to that apartment, I did the tour, and I'm like, damn, I like it here. Like, I can see myself living here for real. Child, like the next 2 days, I signed everything, signed the lease, got approved, did the whole boop, and I ended up moving into the apartment. So had I not have been diligent and, you know, persistent and annoying as hell, I still don't know what would have happened. You know what I'm saying? I still don't know what would have happened. Long story short, don't give up. Just take it a day at a time. Don't give up. Don't be too stressed out. Take a breather. Sometimes you just need to sit in silence and just stare at the wall and just think of a plan. Or sometimes you might not even have a plan and you just going with the flow and you just figuring it out. And when I say I figured it out and I moved out of the hotel and the apartment and moved into another place within the span of a week, 2 weeks, that's literally crazy. Did all of that without even knowing where I was gonna lay my head at, for real. Like, that's crazy. All because the Arctic blast and pipes exploding and y'all emailing me saying my apartment is inhabitable and da 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 da. My personal opinion, the apartment should have like placed us somewhere else, into another unit, because the whole apartment wasn't trash. It was just my building. It was just my side of the building. The other apartment, all those other units were perfectly fine. It wasn't a whole apartment thing. It was literally just my building and certain apartments in my building. So everybody didn't get affected by this who stayed in my building. I was just one of the lucky ones who this happened to. So my personal opinion, the apartment should have placed us somewhere else in another unit, and I would have been cool with that. But for them to just like tell us our apartment is inhabitable and we have to move out, and then wasn't really following up and stuff like that, was just really trifling. The fact that they still made us pay rent was trifling. Granted, they ended up giving us rent back, but you don't just pay rent when you're in an apartment. You pay rent, utilities, you pay water, you pay trash, you pay for parking, you pay for all of these different things, and the only thing we got reimbursed back from was the rent. So all of these other things that we paid, we didn't get that back. That was an L on us. And yeah, we put the claim in. We ended up getting some money back for the stuff that was damaged from the claim, and that's pretty much it, y'all. Like, that's pretty much the story. I stayed in the hotel for 42 days. I literally counted the days. I went in there in December and I didn't leave out until February. So day in and day out living in a hotel. I had to pay to wash my clothes inside of the hotel. Hotel breakfast was nasty as shit. Very distasteful. Yeah, it couldn't have been our people who was making it. I don't know who. I ain't saying names. I ain't saying nothing. But that shit was nasty. Nasty. Yeah, that's it. Your girl was moving weight out the hotel. No, your girl was in a hotel, pretty much didn't have nowhere to stay, and by the grace of God and by me just being diligent and keeping myself on my toes, found some, moved into a new apartment, bam, just like that. You feel me? Straight like that. I'm doing my big one. That's the end of the story, guys. Sorry for the animations and the... Actually, I'm not apologizing. I'm very animated, and I'm very... When I tell stories, I like to give detail, and I like for y'all to feel like y'all was there. And I like to ruffle a little feathers sometimes, because y'all on the other end should really be like, damn, that's messed up. Like, damn, my girl messed up. Which they did. And I really was mad as hell, and I was constantly emailing people and calling people and doing this and doing that while working and dealing with the pressures of work and people getting on my goddamn nerves at work too. Everybody was just getting on my nerves. Everybody was just pissing me off. Okay? Everybody was just pissing me off. But I overcame it. I now have somewhere to stay. I'm not in a hotel anymore. Skin glowing, hair getting longer, getting fuller. Yes, this is all me for the new people here. And that's it. That's it for this story time. It's been a long one, but if y'all have any questions, if y'all went through anything similar, if y'all just want to talk, like trying to look for apartments, whatever, just comment below. Like, I'll comment back. I'm super cool, super friendly. Subscribe if you are not subscribed. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, and I will see y'all on my next video. Oh, I gotta think of a new outro. Thank y'all. Oh, I got one. If this is behind the scenes with T, my new outro gonna be, thank y'all so much for watching, and that's a motherfucking wrap. Y'all get it? That's a wrap, cause like, or should I do and scene? No, cause scene is like, okay, we just gonna do when that's a motherfucking wrap. Okay, yeah. Thank y'all so much for watching and tuning in, and I will see y'all on my next video. That's a motherfucking wrap.